Okay, so welcome to Roosevelt Middle School's Title I annual meeting for the 2025-2026 school year. Thank you for attending this online session. Please sign in using the link that is pinned in the chat, or you can also scan the QR code that's on the screen. My name is Kara Davis Henry. I am the Title I coordinator for Roosevelt Middle, and I am also the 6th grade assistant principal here at Roosevelt Middle. So let's get started. So the purpose of the meeting, there is something called the Every Student Succeeds Act. It is a federal law, and according to federal guidelines, every Title I school must hold an informational annual meeting. And the meeting allows parents and family members and community and the school to kind of better understand the importance of their role in their child's education and what we're doing here at the school. It also gives us an opportunity to ask for your input. So I will be asking for your input a little later to help us improve our Title I program. So what is Title I? Like I said, Title I is part of the Every Student Succeeds Act, or the ESSA. The law was first passed into law as the Elementary and Secondary Education Act in 1965 under President Johnson. The intent of this law was, and still is, to provide federal funds to support schools with high poverty rates and to ensure that all children have the opportunity and resources to obtain a high quality education. To this, Title I funds are used to support instruction, professional development of teachers, and family engagement programs. So how does a school become Title I? Eligibility for the 2025-2026 school year, it either depends on the income data for the school for free and reduced lunch, or as we qualify as a direct certification school. So Palm Beach County is now a community eligibility provision district, meaning all students receive free breakfast and lunch. So schools qualify for Title I funding based on the percentage of students that are direct certified by the state. So the more students who are eligible, the more funding the school receives. And students that are serviced fall between the ages of 5 and 17, and those students are counted in the calculation. So there are some paperwork things on our school district website that parents can fill out. We also send home a questionnaire, and we'll talk about that questionnaire a little bit later and what exactly it is. But filling out that questionnaire also helps us receive dollars for Title I. So the Title I funds are in addition to what the district provides for us. Every school is allocated a certain amount of dollars per student. So the funds are used to supplement and create innovative programs at our school, including support for families. In fact, a set amount must be spent on parent and family engagement. Parents and family members are important stakeholders and have the right to give input into how the school will spend the funds. So with that being said, rights for parents and families to be informed and involved. So we have the Title I meeting. We do have stakeholder input meetings that will kind of take place. All of our SAC meetings are able to give your input, but in February, we have a specific meeting where we get more information from parents. You'll learn tonight about the parents' right to be involved. You're going to learn about our family engagement plan, which is also called the PFEP. You'll learn about the school and parent compact, and then the parents' right to know notifications. All of those things were sent home the first week of school. They are also available on our school website, but it was sent home, and I also sent out parent. And then we'll talk about surveys that parents can fill out a little bit later. And parents also have the right to be a part of other decision-making committees, like I mentioned, the SAC and the PTSA. And you have the right to request regular meetings, so you can contact the school counselors for other meetings as well. And we'll be sharing, like I said, more information about the parents' rights and family engagement throughout the presentation. So the school-wide Title I program, it is important to know that the school district of Palm Beach County implements the school-wide Title I model. This means that students, teachers, parents, and family members are all part of the Title I, and they all benefit from the funding and services, regardless of which students made the school eligible. So like I said, we are direct certification, but just because a student doesn't fall into the category to make us certified doesn't mean they don't benefit from the funds. So everybody is benefiting from the funds that we get. And if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. Ms. Lester is keeping an eye on that for me. So if you have any questions, you can either raise your hand or pop the question in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer for you. Also, please make sure that you log in. There is a sign-in sheet pinned in the chat. So please make sure you sign in, because I have to turn in that documentation so that we can continue to receive funds. So as we talk about the Title I, we have something called our school-wide plan, or the SWIP. And there's a lot of things that go into the SWIP and what helps us to qualify for the money. So we start with our comprehensive needs assessment, which is a detailed review of student performance and school data that's used to identify our strengths and the areas of need. This includes looking closely at academic achievement, attendance, behavior, and other key factors that affect student success. And the goal of this process is to uncover the root causes of any of the performance gaps. And we use that information to guide the development of our Title I school plan. To do this, we collected and analyzed multiple sources of data. We used our state assessments, the PM 1, 2, and 3 from last year and the year before. We use diagnostic data. We use stakeholder surveys, which some of those will be coming out to you in parent links and via emails. We ask that you fill out those surveys, because that is valuable information for us, and we can use it to help improve what we're doing here. And it provides valuable input from parents, staff, and community members. I see a question. Let me see if I can look at this question real quick. Ms. Jackson, I think that's you asking. Are the funds used directly for academics, or can they be used indirectly as well? They can be used indirectly, and we're going to actually go over some of that in just a minute. Thank you for that question. But again, like I said, we use data from the winter diagnostics to help us get those funds. And we did pinpoint the areas of greatest need this year. So some of the things we're taking a look at, I know we're taking a look at our science. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're also taking a look at our ELA, our reading and language arts departments. So we'll talk about that as well. The overall goal was for us to increase student proficiency, close the learning gaps, and to strengthen the parent and family partnerships throughout the year. So here's where I would like to involve you all, because some things I want you all to think about, and some questions I want you all to think about, is what supports do you think would help your child most here at our school, whether it be something we can implement this year or moving forward even until next year. So these are some things you can be thinking about. What supports do you think would help most? How can we make our family engagement events more meaningful for you? We do have SAC meetings. We're trying to schedule a parent training coming up in this month in October. But we also need some input from you on what you feel would make it most meaningful. And are there specific resources that you'd like to see us provide for you to support students at home with their learning at home? So these are some things that we'd like you to think about, and just kind of share that information with us. And if you want to later on, I'll open it up as you're thinking about those things, and we can talk about it. Let's see. So this year, Title I funds, and this, Ms. Jackson, is going to kind of answer your question a little bit. The Title I funds support student success through classroom instruction and specialized instructional positions. So our learning team facilitator, our math, literacy, and science coaches, they provide targeted guidance and support for teachers. They enhance instructional practices and improve student learning, and their salaries are paid for out of Title I. Our school has one budget and it's limited, so we often use Title I funds to fund positions such as these, and they're very helpful to our students and our staff. It's also used to fund extended learning opportunities, whether it be during school, after school, or Saturday tutorials, which are going to be starting. We offer students additional time and support to master those key skills. We do have teachers who are interested in teaching during their planning period, but they do have to be compensated for that per their CTA contract. So again, Title I funds help us pay for resources, and it also helps us pay for people to use those resources. We also use them for technology and supplies, such as science is one of the things that we were looking into this year. It provides interactive tools that strengthen the eighth grade science instruction, and it helps build mastery in the critical science concepts. And we'll be talking about Penda Science again February when we talk about our comprehensive needs assessment for the coming year. So Title I funds, like I said, are used to support professional development for instructional staff as well. It's ensuring that teachers have access to the latest strategies, resources, and training. And these opportunities directly enhance classroom instruction, helping all students achieve academic success. So some of the things that we pay for out of Title I funds is sending our teachers to training, that because a lot of the conferences, there's great information there, but they do cost money. And in order for our teachers to attend, we have to sometimes help to supplement that. And so that's another way that we use Title I funds to help our teachers become better and grow at their craft. So I hope this is answering your question, Ms. Jackson. This year, Title I funds are supporting our parent family engagement through training such as data night that, like I said, is coming up in October. We're also going to have an academic night in January, and information about these events will be sent home in backpacks. We'll do some call outs and we'll email you similar to what we did tonight so that you all know that these events are coming up and you can plan to take part in them. So be looking out very, very soon for information on this. And again, this is one way that Title I funds are used because we use it for the materials that we use in these trainings. So our school-wide plan, the SWIP, involves the entire school community, including families. So research shows that when parents and family members are involved in their child's education, students are more likely to earn better grades, perform well on tests, attend school regularly. They're able to adapt to changes a little bit better. They develop strong social skills, and they're more likely to be promoted to the next grade, graduate, and continue their post high school education. So a lot of that involves our PFEP, our parent and family engagement. And that's another reason why we encourage parents to participate in our Title I meetings, in our SAC meetings, in our PTSA. If we're having events at the school, we're asking that parents come because if parents are involved, these things are more likely to happen for our students. So along with the it's referred to as the PFEP. And so we recognize the importance of partnering with families so students reap those benefits. And part of our school-wide plan includes how we partner with families to help students succeed. And so we have this entire PFEP plan. And as I said, it was sent home the first week of school. And it was written with input from families when we had our stakeholder meeting in February. And we will have another one in February of 2026. But that information comes from the staff, the students, the parents, community members that take part in our meetings. All of that input comes together so that we can put together this plan of action for what we're going to do here at Roosevelt to help our students. So our PFAP, it includes our engagement statement. It includes how we work with the parents, how we work with the community, how we train teachers to work with our families. Because just like parents will have their night of training, our staff had one before school even began, and that's all part of the Title I plan, helping our teachers learn how to better engage with families so that everybody's on board and everybody's participating in the student success. So again, parent trainings, they are in alignment with that PFEP. The training for October is coming up, academic night in January. And I know I keep saying that, but I don't want you to forget that it is coming up. We also have the parent compact, which was sent home in August, the first week of school. So each school must have that school parent compact. And again, it's written by parents, family members, and school personnel. And what that school parent compact outlines is how parents, students, and the school work together to support student learning and success. Again, it was developed collaboratively with input from parents, teachers, and staff, and it guides communication and strategies between home and school, helping families support learning at home and ensuring students have the resources and support they need to succeed academically. So again, a lot of the things that I'm sharing and that I've shared with you so far this year that's gone home in backpacks is built with a collaborative effort. And so we're asking that more and more parents become involved. This is kind of why I had the meeting virtual, because a lot of parents can't get to our school. So I figured, hey, let's have it virtually so you can learn a little bit more. And I hope that helps. Compact. All right, so parents' right to know. So Title I schools must inform parents and family members of their rights. And parents and family members have the right to request information regarding your child's teachers and the paraprofessionals that are working with them. You have the right to request their qualifications and know the academic level and growth of your students. So parents have access to a lot of information. Part of what's going to happen on data night when we do that training is helping you learn how to find the information, how to analyze that information. So that is coming. But a lot of that is parents' right to know. Again, you have the right to know who's in front of your student. And so that being said, you have to be informed if your child is taught for 4 or more weeks by a teacher who doesn't have that certification. It doesn't mean that they're not a certified teacher. It just means they might not be certified in that subject area. And those letters are going to be coming home this week. So if your student is in that situation, you will receive a letter. So parents do have the right to know that. You have the right to know whether or not your child is being taught by a substitute teacher. We have a lot of schools where we have teachers who may not have gotten their certification yet. So they're what's called a permanent sub and they are in the classroom teaching. Again, doesn't mean they're not qualified. It simply means they haven't gotten that certification yet. So there's a lot of things that parents have the right to know, and you'll be getting that information. We send it home, and it's not just our school, but at a Title I school like this one, parents have to know what's going on. So call us, ask us. If you have questions, you can send emails to guidance counselors. You can call and speak to guidance counselors. You can come up to the school. All of these things are your right as a parent to know what's going on. So we also have what's called the Migrant Education Program. And the goal of the MEP is to help migrant students. And these are children who move with their families for work in agriculture or fishing. And it's meant to help them succeed in school, to meet the high academic standards, and to graduate from high school or earn a GED. The program also prepares students for future learning, responsible citizenship, and meaningful careers. So we do have a lot of students who move from place to place to place, and that's what this program does. So we'll talk a little bit about this program because this is also something that Title I focuses on. So the program works to meet the unique needs of migrant students by helping them overcome interruptions in schooling, because again, they move from place to place, so schooling is interrupted. It helps with cultural and language barriers. It helps when students are feeling socially isolated, and then when they have limited access to health resources. So the program provides supplemental academic and social support, and it assists with transitioning to new schools, and it helps them meet those challenging academic standards. And it also supports them in graduating from high school. So when they leave our middle school, they're still being helped and supported to make it through. So how it works, the migrant students are identified through in-person interviews that are conducted by trained MEP recruiters. And it's using federal and state eligibility requirements. For more information, you can contact George Eshagare. He's the manager of the Migrant Education Program at the Palm Beach County School District. And his information is there on the screen. And as I said earlier, some of you may not have heard, this is being recorded. This presentation will be posted to our school's website. So if there's any information that you want to go back through and look at and get phone numbers and things like that, you're able to do that by the end of this week. So another program is the McKinney-Vento program, and it's guided by the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Act. And it helps children and youth experiencing homelessness overcome challenges to enrolling, attending, and succeeding in school. So this is something else that Title I funds do. The federal law ensures that homeless students have the educational rights and support they need to succeed. So some of our Title I funds are used to purchase uniforms, school supplies, and things like that for our homeless students. So the McKinney-Vento program is funded by Title I and Title IX and Title IX Part A, and it provides supports for students experiencing homelessness. There's a team of people. There's a program planner, the homeless liaison, an academic support specialist, a case manager for identifying the students and providing transportation. And there's 10 additional case managers who assist schools and families. So throughout all of Palm Beach County schools, there's a group of about 10 to 15 people who do all of this. So children and youth experiencing homelessness have the right to immediate school enrollment even without records. So this is part of what happens. They have the right to stay in school of their origin if it's their best interest, and they receive transportation to and from that school. And they also have access to extra support to help them succeed academically. Like I said, Title I funds are used to help them with school supplies, uniforms, and other things like that. So homeless children and youth are those who do not have a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. These include children and youth who are sharing housing due to loss or hardship. They're living in motels, hotels, shelters, or other temporary settings. Some of them have been abandoned in hospitals because some of our homeless students are not with a parent. They've been abandoned. They're living in places that are not meant for regular sleeping, or they're moving around, kind of like the migrant children that we talked about earlier, and they're having to live in these circumstances. So again, Ms. Jackson, this is kind of where your Title I funds are going. So they're there to support children in every way that we can. So I mentioned earlier the student housing questionnaire. So this is one of those forms that can be filled out. It helps identify students who may be eligible for the McKinney-Vento program. Hard copies were sent home during the second week of school. They're also available here in the main office, and they are sent home twice a year. They can also be completed online if you go to our district website. And then the McKinney-Vento team works with community partners to assist families in completing the form. So eligible students receive support and services from the MVP team once we are aware of it. So if you are experiencing homelessness or some kind of problems, please make sure that you reach out to us so that we can help you in every way that we can. Um, for each school district aims to identify at least 5% of the students who are experiencing homelessness, and we're trying to make sure that these students are attending school. A lot of our homeless students, their absenteeism is very high, and that's one of the things that we as a school are focusing on, but the district is also focusing on trying to make sure that those students are in school. So that's part of home visits and things that we do, and that's part of that form. Getting that form filled out is helping us to be able to help them to be here so that they can get an education. These are some of the services provided by the McKinney-Vento. Again, there's transportation to school, there's tutoring that's offered, there's school-based team meetings that we're taking part in to kind of help these students and identify potential issues and how we can help. And these are more services, like I said, year-round: school supplies, uniforms, hygiene kits. There's community engagement. There's a welcome center. There's soup kitchens. There's churches that also help out with this. So there's a lot of things that McKinney-Vento is doing. More services, and these are some of the pictures of the things that they're doing. They also do laundry services because many of the people that are living in shelters or homes don't have access to laundry, so they have those things available too. So if you want more information on McKinney-Vento, or you want to be able to complete that housing questionnaire, this is the contact information. Alicia Coleman is the program planner. There is an MVP website. The phone number is there. So again, if you or someone you know is experiencing homelessness, please reach out so that we are able to help. All right, so that is our Title One. I'm going to open up the floor if there's any questions, anything you need answered. I hope this was informative. I'm also going to post in the chat a survey. Make sure that you sign in. That was pinned in the chat as well, but there's a QR code and there's also a survey. And there's information, and you can add more information. If you want more information from me, please don't hesitate to reach out. Anybody, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can put it in the chat at this time. Anyone? Okay, if not, this concludes our meeting. If there are no questions, again, please make sure. Oh, I see a hand. Ms. Danister, you want to open up your mic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I hear an echo. Okay, I'm gonna speak anyway. Yeah, so I've heard that if we meet our, I guess our test scores, or if we go up a letter grade or what have you, the school
Mhm.
get more money. Is that true? Or how does that
That
work?
That's not a part of Title One. There are some funds that schools get when you go up a letter grade, but that's not a part of Title One. Title One is dependent on the number of students that we have on our campus, as well as the need. And I kind of talked about that. We're a direct certification school, so that's why filling out those forms are so important. So the money for Title One is not the same as the money that comes with the going up a letter grade. What is that called? I can't remember the name of that. Somebody help me out. What is it called? Anybody?
A+ recognition funds.
There you go. The A+ recognition funds. Thank you, Miss Lester. That's a separate bank of money, Miss Danister.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else, please, please, please make sure you fill out that evaluation form. And if you didn't sign in, that is also pinned up there in the chat. We want to make sure that we recognize our parents who attend. So you'll get a nice little thank you from me, and you'll also get other personalized invitations to things that we might be having here at the school. And if there are no other questions, I am going to stop the recording at this time. And again,